Hello, my name's Jason and welcome back to I Have a Story. I talk about how I don't get much into entertainment, and I do a little bit, and I like to get into entertainment and watch something entertaining before I go to bed. That's something kind of takes my mind off of things and unwind from the world. Outside of that, the world is there, and I'm going to pay attention to it. When I talk about listening to podcasts and talk shows, and I love to tinker and play with stuff, and I'm always busy, and I'm a busybody. But while I'm busy, I either like listening to music or I like to listen to a lot of podcasts and people talk and different things, and I just kind of let YouTube or whatever network I'm watching, I'll just play. And Devin Gibson is a channel that I subscribe to and I listen to on a regular basis, and I really enjoy his channel. And part of why I want to share his channel is I think you will too. He's a very, very energetic and positive person. And I need positivity in my life. And he had a video that came out that he gave a speech of Mark Robinson, and I'm sure most people won't know who he is. He's running in North Carolina, and I didn't know who he was until this came up on Devin Gibson's his channel. And I'll tell you what, this is one of the most moving and touching and powerful speeches I've heard in a very long time. And I want you to listen to it. He is so powerful and so strong and so smart, and so he is funny. He had charm, he had humor, he had patriotism. I mean, Devin Gibson in this video talks about seeing him run as Trump's vice president, and I don't believe that is. I honestly have something I would like to present, and with this channel I wing everything. I mean, that's part of my problems and part of my whole life in general, and these are my weaknesses. But I believe we should have a president that's a man and a vice president that's a woman. I think that should always be the case, and there are reasons for that. And before anybody criticizes me, we'll talk to me first and understand why I'm saying that. But I will be making more videos in the future talking about that. There's a reason why I say that. There needs to be balance everywhere, and that is balance, man and woman. And I don't necessarily state and say that woman should follow man, but there is a slight part of that that is absolutely true, and I will be sharing that further in further videos. So please don't torch me now for what I'm saying, and I'm saying that with my heart. I can honestly tell you, I have more women supporters, and over my lifetime, probably more women friends and been closer to women than I have men. And not that I have relationships with those women, not sexual ones. It's because I have the heart of a woman, and they feel that, and I get along with them. I've had too many bully, headstrong male friends that have been their husbands and confidants, and I'm not that kind of person, and I relate more with the women on those relationships than I do with the men, because I'm not. But this Mark Robinson video gave me some of that, because I need some of it. I'm a man. I need to be a man. I've been too much of a woman in my life. But this video, his speech, was powerful. And I would like to hear what Mark Robinson, would have to say, and what his outlook is as far as how he would handle the problems that we're facing if he became president. Because this was a man that I would seriously look at it from just watching this one speech. And you can't go off of one speech, obviously. I will state that right up front. But watching this one speech was moving. And if I'm a ism, I'm going to be making, I'm trying to put together structure to my channel, and I'm thinking about making one of Isms Fridays. Fuck it, I'm an Ism Friday. If I'm a racism because I think black men have powerful, moving voices, then I take that. I'm racism. And God, I'm so bad with names, and I've learned to accept it, and I'm going to be talking about that further down the road too. I really try to dissect everything and look at everything and understand why, because that's how we make positive out of it. We don't just accept things for what they are and go along with it. We understand why they happen the way they do so that we can make the best out of them. So I look at everything in my life, including myself, harder than anyone else. Part of why I'm here. So the God in the Evan Almighty, Bruce Almighty movies. I can't remember his name right now, and everybody who watches this video will be able to put his name in the comments. I can't, it's names. This is me and names. I never forget a person, a face. I remember so much, but names escape me. Terrible. But his voice, the God in Evan Almighty, man, I'll tell you what, if there was any calming, more soothing voice, when I'm ever in any moment I would need a soothing voice, that man has the voice to do it. Tell me I'm wrong. If I'm wrong and I'm saying it, black men have a good voice, I accept it. But I would like to hear what this man's political agendas would be if he was a nominee for president. Because Mark Robinson really moved me with what he said. It made me feel stronger. And I always feel stronger watching Devin Gibson's videos because he's a strong man. Part of why I watch him. He's a religious man. And he keeps things on a real level. So I'm going to share this video and I want you to see and tell me what you think about Mark Robinson. Hop on over to Devin Gibson's video or channel and watch some of his videos. See how touched and moved you are by those. And yeah, I mean, tell me what you think, and please stay tuned, and I'll talk more about why I think we should have a president that's a man and a vice president that's a woman. And those roles. Please, again, don't torch me now. Let's talk about it first. Then if you want to torch me, you're more than welcome to. It's part of why I talk about, too, and I want to talk more about. Nobody can just watch CNN and say they know it all. Nobody can just watch Fox and say they know it all. You have to watch both sides and listen to both sides. Don't even happen in court today. Not today, present, like absolute. I didn't go to court today. I'm saying in court today. I've already proven that's not even how that goes. And we wonder why the world's so screwed up. Again, not hard to figure out. How do we make changes? First part is talking about it, accepting it, finding ways to make it change. This video made me change. It made me stronger, gave me more confidence. Thank you, Mark Robinson. I thank you.
Praise the Lord for Mark Robinson. This fearless man of God you're seeing on your screens right now just gave one of the most incredible truth-dropping speeches that any of our eardrums will ever have the privilege of being blessed to hear. And I sure hope Donald Trump is listening, because this is the vice president that he needs. Someone to not only help make America great again, but more importantly, make America godly again. And unless you're someone that absolutely hates Jesus Christ and our United States Republic, then you're going to love this right here. It's so good that I'm not even going to show my face or interject a single thought outside of this introduction. And right away, some of y'all are like, hallelujah, that's what we've been waiting for. But either way, let's get it popping.
Very first thing we're going to do, as always, we're going to give thanks to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Are there reporters in this room somewhere? I can't see through the light. It's the mainstream media here. If you're here, I want you to hear this. Hear me. I don't care what you say about me. I don't care what you do in your newsroom. I don't care about your plans and your schemes to bring this nation down with your Democratic friends. Why? Because Jesus Christ is still on the throne. You may have your news cameras and your satellites and your 24-hour news, but Jesus Christ holds the world in his hands. And he holds me in it as well. And what he has for me, you cannot keep from coming true. It may not be the governor's mansion. It may not be any political seat. But you will not stop Jesus Christ's will in my life. So I do not fear you. Write your stories, tell your lies, tell your half-truths. But Christ is still on the throne. And because he lives in my heart, and I live for him, I know whatever I need to do on this earth for him, it will get done. So we give him thanks first and foremost. Guys, all these other guys that come out here and talk to you about the issues, we know the issues. The wide open border, crime on the street, fentanyl killing our children, pornography in our schools. We know about the issues, the failing economy, the precarious place the United States finds itself in on the world stage with its enemies. The horrible, absolutely dreadful administration that is currently leading our nation right now. It is mind-numbing to think that the most energetic, the greatest nation on earth, people seek to come to for that vaunted thing that we have, the freedom and energy and intelligence that we have in this country. And all 350 million people are being led by somebody who just barely knows that they're here on earth. We know what the issues are, but I didn't really come here to go into details about the issues. What I really came here to do, I came here to get something started. See, because we got a problem in this country. We got a bunch of clapper-trap people that sit behind news media desks that want to talk about fake trials for President Trump. Turn the television on and talk about first one actor and then another actor. Talking about all manners of foolishness. Talking about MAGA Republicans being the most dangerous people on earth. I don't know. I didn't see any MAGA Republicans on 9/11 blowing up buildings and airplanes. I don't think any MAGA Republicans were over in Israel murdering people. And I don't think a MAGA Republican gave them the money to be able to do it. See, we got folks in this country that don't want to talk about the substantive issues that all of us face. The things that we just talked about, that wide open border, the precarious place we find ourselves with safety and security in the world, on the world stage. They don't want to talk about your pocketbook. They don't want to talk about the fact that your children are in schools where we spend millions upon millions upon millions of dollars for those schools, and the children can't read on the grade level. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the fact that every single solitary policy that they propose and then pass yields horrible results. They don't want to talk about it. Why? Because it proves an essential truth. It proves an essential truth. What is that truth? The simple truth of the matter is this. They call us the right. We sit on the right. And we not only get called the right and call ourselves the right and sit on the right, we are right. We are right about every single solitary issue. When we say, shut that border down and deport those who are dangerous to our country, we are right. When we say, children should not be sexualized, we are right. And this nation knows it. When we say that it's your money, you earned it, you worked for it, the government should not be picking your pocket, we are right. See, we are right. Too many of us are ashamed to be right, though. Some of us, we go to work and folks start talking about politics and start standing up saying, I think Joe Biden's doing a wonderful job. And he's a nice man, because that President Trump is just mean. I just don't like the things that he says. He's just mean and arrogant, and he's a bully. If I hear that one more time, I am going to go crazy. This man is fighting. Let's list the people he's fighting. He's fighting almost the entire news media. He's fighting all the Democrats. He's fighting all the communists. He's fighting all the socialists. He's fighting all of our enemies across the ocean. And sadly, he's fighting half the Republicans. How is this man a bully? How is he a bully? You see, we hear that at work sometimes, some of us, and we're a little shy about stepping up, standing up, saying anything. People look at us and say, why are you a Republican? We say, well, you know, my mom voted Republican. I like Ronald Reagan. I think he did a great job, and I like Reagan. And so that's why I'm a Republican. We shy away from the truth. We don't want to look at that person and say, you know, well, wasn't it the Republican Party that was formed to stand up for the Republic? Not the democracy like you see splayed on the news every day. You see, them folks want a democracy. They want the mob to rule. They don't want this republic. And they don't want Republicans standing up for the republic. You're going to tell them that, yeah, wasn't it? Well, they say, well, the Republican Party is the party of old white men. It ain't coming off. And while we're on that subject, wasn't it the Republican Party that fought a war to free the slaves? How many Jim Crow laws were passed by Republicans? Wasn't it the Republicans who ended Jim Crow? Then you can take it even further and say, so you're a Democrat. Why are you a Democrat? You know the Democrats were the ones that were in favor of slavery. They were the ones in favor of the Confederacy. They were the ones that created Jim Crow. They are the ones that made the laws. And they are the ones that fought like hell to keep them. Until they found out a different way to enslave people. Instead of giving them welfare, instead of giving them slave shacks and shackles, they decided they were going to give them welfare checks and the ghetto. You see, there are truths that nobody wants to talk about. Not the news media, not the college professors. I'm getting excited up here, guys. Not the college professors. Nobody wants the front row. Y'all better watch out, bro. Woo! Spitting fire up here today. Y'all better watch out. Nobody wants to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it, and you should too. You should run and go tell the good news of why you're a Republican. You can take it all the way back to 1860 and bring it all the way up right now to 2020. You look at the states that are run by Republicans. Look at what Sarah Huckabee Sanders is doing in Arkansas. Look at what Glenn Youngkin is doing in Virginia. Look at what Ron DeSantis is doing in Florida and Greg Abbott is doing in Texas. Look at what the Republican legislature in North Carolina is doing and has done since 2010. And while we're on that subject, think about what North Carolina will do when Mark Robinson is the Republican governor. You see, there's a truth that's got to be told. Unfortunately, no one will tell it if you don't. No one will be bold enough to tell it if you're not. Yeah, I speak about this all the time, and when I do, I try to do it without shedding tears, but it's hard for me to do it. I tell my wife I have two great dreams. One great dream exists on this side of the earth. The other dream exists on the other side. The dream on the other side is very dear to me. And people think that I hate people. I don't hate people. I hate actions. I hate actions that take advantage of people, destroy people's lives and destroy and wreck nations. I hate the actions. I don't hate the people. One of my greatest dreams as a Christian is this. And I take it to heart, and when I say it, I mean it. You know, they tell me that when I die, if I do what God says on earth, He has reserved a mansion for me with many rooms. I think about that room that He may reserve for me. And I think about myself in it. And if that place is like anything like down here on earth, maybe people would come and visit me. You know who I want to come and visit me? course, I love to see the heroes of the faith come. My mother, my family, those that I love. But you know who else I want to see? I want to look out my window down in my driveway and see Nancy Pelosi come walking up. I'm serious. I want to see Joe Biden come walking up. I do. I do. I want to look down there and see my opponent, Josh Stein, come walking up. I want to look down there and see everybody who opposed me on earth, who called me an enemy on earth. I want to see them come walking up that driveway. You know why? Because it means they made it. Because they made it. Now, I don't want my opponent to make it to the governor's mansion, but I sure wouldn't mind if he made it to heaven. Because I don't hate anybody. Now, I want to see every single solitary person on this earth. I want to see their souls saved. Every single solitary person. And each and every one of us that calls ourselves a Christian should pray vehemently for their souls, that we would see them in heaven and forget about all this when we get up there. My second dream is this, and it's down here on earth. One day, years from now you look at them old photographs and you can tell what year they were taken. I want an old photograph to be sitting up on somebody's shelf in a home somewhere. I don't know where it may be. Could be here, some other place. And I want somebody to pull that photograph down and look at it and say, who is this man? And I want one of my grandchildren, or great-grandchildren, or great-grandchildren, right here in the United States of America, to take that picture and hold it up over their head and say, this is my grandfather. And I live in freedom today because he was man enough to stand up and give me the same kind of freedom that he grew up in. To me, that would be the single greatest honor on this earth. Now, I sincerely hope that each and every one of you would want to have that honor as well. Now, before I leave you, I want to leave you with this. Who are we as Republicans? Who are we as conservatives? Who are we as patriots? Who are we as MAGA Republicans? I boil it all down to this. Earlier this month, we celebrate what I call America's St. Crispin's Day. D-Day, June the 6th, 1944. The spirit of MAGA, the spirit of us, the spirit of the American patriot is embodied in those boys in those boats. It lives inside of the hearts of each and every person in this room. It lives inside of the people who go back home and get politically active and are bound and determined to change the circumstances of their cities and their state and their nation. It exists in those moms who had the unmitigated gall, according to some, to go down to the school board and demand that their children not be sexualized. It lives in the heart of every patriot who decides to put their name on the dotted line and serve in office. It exists inside of Americans who love this nation. The heart of the boys in those boats on that day is literally the epitome of America. When times get tough for us, when you get scared, when you get nervous, when you think you can't win, think about them boys in them boats. Think about them bullets hitting that door. Think about the fact when that door opened, they didn't run to the back. They ran out that door. Bullets be damned, death be damned. I'm here to save my country. You think about them. You remember them. And you remember their sacrifice was not in vain because it lives in you and it lives in me and it lives in all of us. Let's let that energize us to save this nation one more time. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, ring that notification bell so you get notified anytime I post a new video. If you like what I'm doing over here and you want to show a little extra love and support, make sure you go check out our website down below in the description section.